What did you make of the Dolphins moving up to 6 and the Eagles moving down to 12? What are your thoughts on that, Daniel Jeremiah?
Well, I think a couple things on the Dolphins that they accomplished. Number one, where they ultimately ended up is in position to get a premier target, right? Whether that's Pitts or Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith or Waddle. However, those are the big four targets. They're going to be able to get a big-time weapon to help evaluate Tua. So that accomplished that. The other thing it accomplished is they accumulated some more tokens, I guess you could say, in drafts beyond this one, which will leave them some flexibility with the whole Deshaun Watson situation. Because if we were looking at this a week ago, we'd say, man, I don't know that anything can happen with Deshaun Watson given the current circumstances. And if you look at the Dolphins, if they are going to be able to come together with Houston on a trade, the majority of their chips are in this draft. So once we get past this draft, it's hard to match them up for a trade because the Dolphins just don't have as many assets as you would need. And so now what they've done is they've collected another first-round pick in next year's draft. They've given themselves flexibility to extend this, to allow this thing with Deshaun Watson to play out, so that once this 21 draft ends, their opportunity for Deshaun Watson does not expire. They can play the long game here.
Because I thought this would mean that they're in on Tua, right?
I think it gives them an opportunity with what they've done to not select in the draft a replacement for Tua, but to support him where we can potentially look at him with more weapons, which gives us an evaluation. But I also think if this thing with Deshaun Watson were to clear up, and it clears up over the summer, they have the chips in place to make that trade right then and there.
Because they've gotten more draft capital down the line.
Future picks, yeah.
Oh, my word. So then what about the Eagles? As you know, people in Philadelphia are kind of like, well, we could have had one of those top playmakers that you mentioned, those 4 playmakers for Jalen Hurts. And instead, they moved down and they put more capital into next year's draft, in which they could wind up with 3 number 1 3 first-round draft choices. What do you make of Philadelphia's maneuvering?
I think it was pretty smart because I believe when you look at the needs of the roster, to me, I think everybody's assuming they're going to go get a player to surround and properly evaluate Jalen Hurts. And if they would have stuck at 6, I had made the strong case. You take Kyle Pitts if he's there. He's the best player. He's going to be the best player available. You take him. But what they've done is they've kind of couched everything here and said, okay, we're going to go back to 12. To me, it points to either the best pass rusher or the best corner. That's where the value is, where they're picking there at 12. And then they have, like you said, 3 ones potentially next year. So you're going to get a look-see here at Jalen Hurts for a year with a full off season and a full training camp, preseason, all that stuff. You're going to get a chance to evaluate him. And if for some reason if it goes well, man, you're loaded with ammunition to build around him next year. And if it doesn't go well, you're loaded with ammunition to go find another quarterback. So that's what that looks like to me from the outside.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.